Hey, hey, welcome back, guys. All right, let's get into this, shall we? We're going to do a little take a peek at the 23rd. So this is a today's topic video for the 23rd of June. We are getting a 5 of Cups. Starts out with somebody who's on the other side of the bridge, and they are sad. This is very sorrowful. I'm hearing Tanita Tikaram. Um, Sorry if I mispronounced her name a little bit there. I've actually never heard her name spoken out loud, but that song, what I didn't know back then is that I would be crying. Um, and I stand across this dirty river and I breathe this dirty air, and I'm sure upon the bridge I'd see you because I dreamt I'd kiss you there. We have a 10 of Pentacles. By the way, that's a great song. She's got an amazing voice. Um, to have this loss, though, somebody is outside the castle walls. And I almost feel like this is a person saying, I'm not allowed to cross the bridge and come back to the castle, but somebody else is going to take my place. Somebody else is going to get to show up and be the person that brings in that 10 of Pentacles, but it's not going to be me. It appears that we may have a divine masculine on the 23rd that is imagining somebody else taking his place, because something has happened here where he's like, I either can't come back or I'm not allowed to. I mean, the bridge is there, but he's on the opposite side of it now. And certainly we can see him lamenting, I can't go there, but somebody else gets to go there. Hi, guys. Great to see everyone. Let's take a look. What is this about? 9 of Wands. I'm not allowed to come there because I'm still not done with my work yet. I haven't finished some kind of healing, and I'm not going to get there in time before somebody else slides in front of me and they get my spot. 6 of Coins, Wheel of Fortune. This really feels like somebody who's like throwing in the towel and saying, I already know she's going to love somebody other than me. She's going to end up with someone else because I still can't get there. I can't get there in time. And I don't know what it is about this masculine who's saying, I can feel that there's a change in the air. There's some kind of like, energy force field, or there's something that has shifted. And I already know she's falling for somebody else. I missed my chance with her. I don't know if he's correct or if he's just thinking, worst case scenario. We have the Magician sideways. Look, if he were disempowering himself and insisting on imagining worst case scenario, it's almost like he pushed that forward. I don't know why, but in his mind, we're like in the mind of a particular, we'll say masculine right now, who's really sad, saying, she's going to end up with somebody else. It's too late for me. She probably already has somebody in her life, but it's like they are manifesting her ending up with somebody else. So, Anita, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very generous. We have a 7 of Wands. All of this, the dangling of the carrot here, this feels like unnecessary game playing, unnecessary amounts of obstacles. I don't love anything that has to do with, you be a good horsey and then I'll feed you a carrot, follow the carrot, and let me dangle it in front of you. I don't know why he's thinking along those lines, if he's played a game on himself, or if he imagines that that's what love is, or that he's been strung along. I don't think so. This is him playing this out in his own mind. So if this is how he views love, I would say it could be he has kind of an unhealthy viewpoint of it. Let me see. 7 of Wands again. So to clarify the 7 of Wands, we literally just got the 7 of Wands again. And we see her standing here. She holds all the cards. She's this great allure for him, but also the person that he's turned this into a weird game. that he set himself up to lose. But I would argue this, he didn't want it bad enough if he's insisted it's a game that I can't win, because I don't even see where the game is other than he's insisted that there is one. And, it's a game that I can't win, but I don't know where he thinks the game is coming from. Yeah, 9 of Cups. He's definitely, I don't love this. This really feels ridiculously complicated and very dramatized for no good reason. So it appears that he's like, oh, she's, everything works out great for her. 9 of Cups, she's very, very happy. She calls all the shots. She has the power to, block me or allow me in. She's this carrot that is always dangled, in front of me, but then in truth, like it's always, she enjoys this, like knowing that I'm interested in her, but that she holds all the power. I don't know why he's assumed all of this. Character, where is this coming from? Why are you thinking that somehow you've been played? 8 of Swords, Queen of Cups. Again, this is him. He's stuck. He's the one trapped in this mindset, because indeed a Queen of Cups is exceptionally loving, exceptionally kind. He's the one stuck in his own head. He told himself this story that I can't be with her. Then he's told himself another story that she, of course, is going to be swept off the market by somebody else. And then he's turned it into kind of like I don't love this because it starts to seem mean. Like, well, she was playing games with me. She holds all the power. And it's like, oh, knock it off. Nobody's playing power games but you. And you're making them up as you go. And you're giving these weird, like, giving this weird power dynamic that you've invented in your own brain. And you're stuck on that when you know darn well, actually, she's really loving. You actually really liked her, but you didn't have the guts to go toward her because you insisted, I'm still wounded, I can't go toward her, which means someone else will get there first, which means now you're vilifying her a little bit. Like, really, she was just playing with me. No, nobody played with anybody but you played with your own mind. And you didn't own the fact that you didn't have the guts to move toward her. And now in your sorrow that you're imagining she's moved on with somebody else, now you want to kind of like point a little finger and say she was messing with you. No, she wasn't. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let this character, go down this spiral of saying things that aren't true. And the reason I'm pushing back so ferociously on this story is because he's the one in the 8 of Swords. He's the one stuck sitting in the window. He put himself on a shelf and he's frustrated, but he's not owning it. He's instead doing that really bad slippery slope where, I think this is really common. And I think it's so dangerous that when something doesn't go right in our lives, instead of us owning our own ish, we try to turn the finger and be like, well, I could have been more successful, but you know what? Those people, that person, that other, they are the reason that I can't be successful. It's like, oh no, you didn't. You own your own stuff. Don't you point fingers at other people to get yourself off the hook for what you didn't work hard enough for or what you didn't go after. In all honesty, you have to do a self-check here. I'm not going to let characters point fingers elsewhere and try to create villains where there aren't any, instead of them being responsible for their own lack of motivation. So sorry, I'm being the mean mommy right now, but they need a reality check. We have the moon upright. We have the 6 of Wands sideways. Yeah, see, there's some more truth. What they're hiding from themselves is they didn't feel good enough to pursue her. They thought they were outclassed by her. Fine, but don't you dare start saying that she played games with you. She held all the power. She probably liked knowing you were interested, but you couldn't come toward her. Baloney. You're hiding from yourself the fact that you let yourself feel outclassed and you made yourself feel sad and bad inside. That's something you need to work on, character. Don't point fingers at her. She didn't make you feel that way. Nobody makes anybody feel any way. We're responsible for our own emotions and we're responsible for doing self-checks. We're responsible for building our own self-esteem. Yes, we can be around people who can certainly make us feel sad, but then we still have to say, okay, I am allowing myself to be made to feel sad. I am in charge of how I feel. I am in charge of what my truth is. That's just a part of being an adult. You've got to be able to do that, as hard as it is. But you can't start victimizing yourself and blaming other people. 10 of Swords, this is a done deal. They say they've lost her, she's gone. And I would just say that if they want to give up so easily, then they should lose her. If they want to surrender this, then they should surrender this, because really this looks like they got a lot of healing to go do. And that is me being compassionate, not rude. 6 of Cups. See, here's the thing. They're saying it's over, but then they still want to come back to it later. This could be the beginning of somebody making themselves very bitter if they do not do a reality check right now and own their own behavior, because it's over. But then they're a soulmate that I want to go back to. You can't have it every way. I want them, I'm not good enough. Ooh, they were probably messing with my mind. They're going to be with somebody else. It's over. I'm really sad, but I still think they're a soulmate and I still want them. That's crazy. This is too much. They need to pick a lane and get in it, and then deal with that one thought process at a time here, kiddo. We get the Queen of Swords. Well, there's some truth. Maybe they are going to sit down and start writing out some of their thoughts. We have the Fool, though. I don't know. This is a lot for one day. This is a lot of cyclical thought process. This is a lot of really, it's a bummer day because they're making it a bummer day, and they're going through all of this way too much thought and projection and falsehoods and frustration. Look, they're throwing themselves a gigantic pity party. I recognize it because I am a terrific pity party thrower for my own self. So, trust me, I know I'm being really harsh with this character only because it takes one to know one. I have been a pity party thrower. I have been a person who can definitely go down that road of, not taking responsibility, right? I think we all do that sometimes. And that's why it's so good once we go, okay, hang on, reality check time. We can have a pity party, but then we got to pull ourselves back out of that. So I think this is the reality check, which could be great. Queen of Swords is not going to allow any lies to be told. I don't know if this is them pulling on their internal truth, or if this is somebody else giving them a sit down and, a little truth bomb. I just was, mouthing off over here going, whoa, no. I don't know how to interpret this just yet, but there's definitely a lot of thought process working around this storyline for one day. This could be a terrific day. If our character throws themselves a pity party, but then decides to shake that off, this is rubbish, let me not do that. You can have a 15-minute pity party, but then you still got to come back to reality and say, okay, now wait a minute. Maybe I didn't pursue this person. Maybe I've been feeling not good enough. Maybe this is my issue. Maybe I shouldn't be pointing fingers. Maybe instead, honestly, maybe they're going to talk themselves right into having the bravery to go talk to her. I've done that too, where it's oh, pity party, sad, not going to do this. And then it's wait a minute, this is stupid. I totally am going to go do that. The very thing I said, it's over, it's done. I'm not going to ever have this happen for me. And then it's maybe I didn't fight hard enough for it. You know what? Here goes nothing. Sometimes that's where we find our courage. I know this is the most crazy cycle and pendulum and full thought process coming full circle. But I have to say, maybe this is an example now of a character doing the full circle, allowing their brain to go through the full range of emotion. I'm super bummed. This isn't going to work. I'm frustrated. I feel I want to blame somebody else. Wait, I can't. I have to blame me. Well, I don't like losing what I want. Then maybe I need to buck up. Hell yeah, I can totally go make a fool of myself and give it my best shot. I could see a character talking themselves through the entire circle like that. Because I'm crazy enough to do that. Good for them. Now I'm liking this character because I'm cracking up. Check this out. We got the Two of Cups, and they're busting up laughing too. Maybe they're both just as crazy. Is this my soulmate? I'm sorry. I'm laughing about this storyline because holy smokes, has this not been a roller coaster ride? And yet, humans, man, we are a roller coaster ride. Emotions and these big old brains that we've got that can think us into circles and corners, and then we can realize we're our own worst enemy, and then we can also be our own best supporter. Oh, Diamond, you sweetheart. Thank you so much. Thank you, love. So generous. I honestly, this looks like par for course, really, for a romance that means a great deal. But then there's also the worries and the fears of, but what if I'm going to let something I really want slip through my fingertips? That causes stress. The more we want something, the more invested we are, the more extreme the range of emotions are going to be, the more fear we have. We worry more when we have something to lose. And I feel like that's, I'm hearing that song, The Watcher by Dr. Dre. In it, he says something about like, just remember when you come for me that you're messing with a family man. I got a lot more to lose than you. Just meaning like the more mature you are, the more people you love, the more you have that you care about, the more protective you're going to be over the things that you love. And I guess I could see that this is one of those stories where it's just saying we may have a character thinking full circle about surrendering a relationship only to talk themselves right back into doing something very brave and risking it all for this love instead of letting this love go. You know what? I'm always going to be a big fan of making a fool of yourself for the person that you love. It's sometimes, at least, let me put it this way. At least you will not have a regret at the end of your life that what if I had told them how I felt? At least oh, I told them I made a class A fool out of myself. They didn't reciprocate, but at least I know that I don't have to wonder what if they had wanted me to. I personally, I have been a fool before, so I have said how I felt and it was not reciprocated more than once, and I'm still glad that I don't ever have to look back and wonder what if. So it's a relief. For me, it was a relief. But it also means you got to get good at rejection. And rejection can be a hard thing. That's scary. That's hard. I don't know that it ever gets easier. But I'll still take the rejection over the not knowing. But that's just my personality. With that 10 of Wands, there is something about laying down obstacles, laying down fears. Queen of Wands. And owning it. I do think that we have possibly a divine masculine who is deciding to just go for it after all. On the 23rd, after talking themselves right out of it, they talk themselves right back into giving it their best shot. And I think that they come in stronger and clearer with how they really feel. Look, I don't know if this wins them the relationship. I don't know if they, get the girl, so to speak. I don't know if it ends up being the best relationship or not, but it certainly looks like I'll go for it, and then I'll worry about healing if it fails, and I biff hard. If I land face plant, at least then I can start healing from this instead of sitting around feeling bitter. At least I'll just be able to focus on healing. Judgment and Knight of Pentacles, ready or not, here they come. They're going for it. Hi, I would like to reconcile. Like, I know this is slow moving now, but they're making the decision to just go for it. I mean, here it says taking a leap of faith for love. Here it says they may actually, say, all right, I got to know the answer to this. So, moment of truth, I'm going to go and approach the person that I'm petrified to approach because they're really attractive, and it's going to suck if instead I just got to go heal. But I got to ask them anyway. Do you now or will you ever want to reconcile with me? That's really what the question is. Do you now or will you ever? So that they can go ahead and, um, it's also important to pose the question right so that they're going to get the true answer. They don't want ambiguity. They got to know the answer. King of Wands. If I look at you as my Queen of Wands, can I be your King of Wands? Good for them for being very straightforward about it. They're not going to mince words. Good for you, character. You've got yourself into bravery. You've got yourself into courage. 9 of Wands, 6 of Swords. They may be very surprised to discover that this person who they've been pining after, this person who they've been kind of afraid to approach, this person who they've imagined there's no way anything would work, they may discover that she's had a really hard time trying to get over them. Obviously, this is a story about reconciling, and it could be a big shocker for them to discover she's been struggling to forget them, that she's been wounded over what happened. Here's the thing. This storyline points out we only see things through our own lens, our own perspective. We forget that other people have their reality and their set of experiences in regards to us as well. And that as much as this character has been fretting, stressing, feeling like, how will I ever get back with this person that I love? They probably won't want me. There's no way this will work. As much as our masculine's been thinking about all that, they kind of forgot that she has perhaps been incredibly lonely, incredibly wounded, incredibly needing this kind of approach. Now we could say, well, why didn't she go approach him? We don't really know what the ins and outs were of this situation, only that for whatever reason, it seemed to be on his side. The storyline began with we were in his head, right? So I just go with the way the cards fall. That is just, we're at the mercy of the way the story is going to be told. But it's interesting because there is something that he was very correct about. It's time. With the Wheel of Fortune here, it is high time to go ahead and make a move. It's time to quit messing about. If something matters, then go pursue it instead of running away from it further and trying to give excuses as to why there's no chance of this. So we definitely see courage. It's just interesting how they talked themselves into courage. This looks like he may be very surprised to hear that she's had a lot of stress surrounding this, that she's had a lot of hurt surrounding this. Does that mean they'll be good together? I don't know. It just was more the snapshot of him and how he went through that whole process. All right, I'm going to leave this one here, but we do need to pull a card for someone who would have a birthday on this day. So on the 23rd, let's get a card for someone whose birthday would be the 23rd. We have the Justice card. Libra energy. That is the awareness that we could surrender things that have been unfair to the universe and let karmic justice balance it out. Let things that hurt be left for the universe to sort out for us so we can move along unencumbered. There is an awareness that sometimes also someone is aware that, hey, that wasn't fair, that wasn't right, and someone could be advocating on another person's behalf. So when we couple it with the King of Swords, which both of these could represent like the legal system, but this is awesome because this is like a, course correcting. This could be somebody getting justice, somebody being protected properly, somebody having, another individual step up on their behalf. And because all of this could be with words, since we have sword energy here, and both of these represent more air, it could be that someone is going to step up on behalf of our birthday person and speak on their behalf. And that can be really lovely. It's great to have like a friend who has our back, especially behind our back. And for some reason, that's how this feels. It's like, oh, wow, this person said something kind, fair, balanced. They protected my good name. You know, it just feels like our character has more friends fighting in their corner than what they realize. Now, this could also be a romantic partner who's got our character's back, but it could be, you know, sometimes just having one person um, speak up for us, even something very, very simple. It's amazing how far that goes to setting things right that needed to be set right. So I really feel like our character might have a very sweet surprise that somebody has their back. More people probably have their back than what they would realize. But if they're still struggling with something, it says surrender it, let it go, because the universe will take over and help course correct it. But I also feel like so too will another person who's like kind of on our character's side. This could also be a King of Swords wants to set things right with our character. Something has been unfair. It says, you know, we do have to give people opportunities to set things right if they are the cause of something being wrong. So it is nice to give someone the opportunity to step in and try to course correct things. All right, I'm going to leave that there. You guys, thanks so much for being here. Nice to see everybody. Good night. I used to love him. Ginger Montague. Hi, honey. Caitlin B, are you up late tonight? I think a lot of us are. Hi, Miss Moody. Hi, Carol. Claudia. Oh, sweetheart, I'm sorry, but I'm really glad you're here with us, hanging with us. Diamond, oh, no, honey, you're perfect. Diamond, don't worry. You never have to worry about spelling errors and things like that. I knew what you meant anyway. There's so many things in life that, you know, we try to be so perfect on, but really we get the gist of it anyway. Things don't always have to be perfectly written or anything like that. The sentiment was so sweet, and thank you so much for your incredible generosity. Don't you worry one little bit if there's a typo or anything. I would never judge anybody on their spelling skills anyway. Typos or not, who cares? Thank you so much, Diamond. That was so generous of you. Right, Ginger? I agree with you. You aren't living if you haven't made a fool of yourself at least once. Agreed. Hi, Bria M. Courtney Jade. Great to see you. Ida, how are you? Good morning to you in Sweden. I am part Swedish. My grandmother. I didn't really pick up much Swedish from her. Jalla Skurdig. I love you. That's about as much as I recall, but she did speak fluent Swedish. Hi, Manzi Halls. Atar Axia. Ida. Hi, honey. 01 Frequency. Hey, Echo. Tammy Johnson. Christy Ann. So glad you made it, love. Thank you again so much, San Juanita. Nikki O, great to see you. Sunflower, moonflower, blah. Sunflowers, moon power. Sorry, I got to get my lips to work. Luminous Marina, hi, sweetheart. And Ataraxia, you were first tonight. Thank you guys for visiting. Thank you for hanging out with me. And good early morning or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm going to Ida, did you guess? I know, 6 foot tall and blonde. Probably there's Swedish somewhere in me, right? Hi, Carrie Wilson, Beth Ross, Danielle. Hi, Light Siren. Yeah, Ida, thank you so much for being here. All right, everybody, have a great afternoon, evening. I will see you again. Well, at 5 a.m., the signs and symbols video will come out, and then I'll see you guys on Sunday, and we'll do all the zodiacs. I know we're still missing some just because this week was destroyed for me, but as I've been ramping back up slowly, we will finally get at least a video out for every zodiac. So, all right, you guys, lots of love. Thank you again for being here. Bye for now.